Oh, my loves, how are you? There are definitely no accidents, as many of us know. There was this recent stream of energy that's been coming through over the last week or so. And after the conversation with Connor, it became very clear. And it was around the divine, sacred, masculine essences, sort of bringing forth this energy and this message around protective mechanism that ultimately leads to self punishment. And it's this energy and essence of wanting to be loved and cared for and seen and honored, but then also having like this huge wall or protective defense mechanism around actually being able to receive it. And it felt in the energies very energetically warranted in the sense of like the protective mechanism was obviously there for an initial reason, but then also like it got to a point where it turned into a level of self-punishment and sort of keeping ourselves out in the cold. Now, the masculine collective brought this through, but I've also been even processing it in my own system in new and deeper ways, which is really fascinating. And I'm grateful for this energy stream that came through. Okay. So I want to tell you really quick, I'm going to do deeper messages here on YouTube around this for our collective here and any of you who find this video. But I want to let you know really quick, I did record, I was guided to record a session to thaw out any of these areas of protective mechanisms where we may have frozen or bypassed, and ultimately, it turned into a form of self punishment so that we can find these areas and really move into allowing ourselves to build deeper self trust. As we unravel the blame or the shame or the guilt and we trust ourselves, we can drop more deeply into receiving and reciprocity and love and prosperity and all of the energies that we've not only been wanting, but we deserve so that we can actually receive what is meant for us. Okay. So I did a recording session around that. And if you're a Patreon member, you can upgrade your membership. And there's an option now to receive 2 recorded sessions a month that I'm going to commit to. And you'll also, in that membership, you'll also receive the 8 or more additional videos that I also offer to my initial membership. If any of you are interested, I'll drop that in the pinned comment. If you're not interested in a Patreon membership, I also have the recording available on its own on my web store. So I'll also drop that link in the comment for you. Now, in the Patreon video, like I did that meditative session, but in my initial membership, I actually recorded a video yesterday around the divine masculine essences feeling excited as they're thawing out the energies of self punishment. And some really gorgeous messages came through on that. And I actually do feel guided. I was guided to hold back a few of the cards that came through on that message because the energy was so significant. And I also realized why, as the night went on, more and more was processing. And in that energy on Patreon, what I was really sensing into is where many in the collective, regardless of how you identify in your counterpart connection, those inner union energies are becoming so strong that there's almost this energy of not even being able to sense where one begins and one ends. That overlap or that shared space of the energies is really starting to process and come into the union energies. So some of you may be even experiencing like just feeling so deeply merged with your counterpart that you're just feeling those internal union energies as you, but also as one shared space. And I was talking about that on the video. And then I felt the higher like the high council, higher energies wanting to come in and bring messages. And on Patreon, I use the mystical shaman deck to allow those energies to come through. And as soon as I said it, the card flew out and it was the council card and it flew on top of the Seven of Pentacles, which was this energy. The energy that came through was sort of this idea of allowing the seeds that have been planted to grow. And it came through as obviously the masculine. And then this council card flew on top of it like this, like sort of like above the deck. And I was blown away because it's two different artists, but it really looked so similar. And then I was very drawn to the hands. And I really felt like this was indicating where the divine sacred masculine collectives were really allowing that higher self essence to come home. They're really opening up to those parts of themselves. And I was blown away just because it was all coinciding with what was coming through as we dissolve this energy of self punishment. And although the divine masculines brought through this message, I do feel deeply that this is a shared space. And it's a shared space within the collectives, and it's a very important part that is actually protecting us from receiving the love that we're wanting. And so for the feminines too, it feels very important to work with this energy, whether you work with me or that recording or you do it on your own. All that really matters is that you're setting the intention to dissolve any self-defense protective mechanisms around not receiving love in a form of self-punishment that you may not even relieve what is coming out of me, understand is there. You might not even understand that it's there. There's something processing in me that the words aren't even coming out. And I feel like that's representative of where these energies have been so inverted and suppressed in our system that we may not even realize they're there. Or we agreed to them and believed that they were protecting us because at a time they really genuinely were. But now, as we're evolving, those defense mechanisms cannot stay there anymore because we're preparing to receive everything that we've been meant for. And part of that is receiving the sacred union codes and connections and partnerships and camaraderie, the unity consciousness. And so we have to be able to have an open heart to receive love, which means we have to thaw any of the frozen or dissociated aspects that have been protecting us away from receiving that. And as the night went on, I realized as much as this looked so similar, two different decks, two different artists, and then as I realized as the night went on, this is actually very much more a feminine essence, this masculine, this feminine. But you can almost sense the higher energies all being sort of integrated together in this higher self being, right? And then we're expressing that through our energy in the physical. All of who we are is ready to come home. I was also very drawn to the hands, and I feel like this is important because our heart is where everything meets, right? All of our aspects, our higher self, our human self, our internal feminine, our internal masculine, our inner child, all of who we are has that centripetal point of meeting in the heart space, our humanity, our soul, our essence. And our arms and our hands are an extension of our heart energy. And so it feels important to acknowledge and to allow yourself as you're thawing this. We talk a lot about dropping into the roots, right? Into the root chakra, into the earth, into our earth star. But it feels equally important as we're dropping into the heart chakra that we're dropping into the root chakra of the heart chakra. So imagine the heart chakra has all the seven layers within it, and you're getting to the roots of the heart, and you're allowing your essence to drop all the way into the depths of the heart chakra, embodying your essence into the heart, into the arms and into the hands, allowing yourself to fully embody the full essence of your heart. As you're embodying your essence onto the earth, truly embodying into the heart space, into the arms, into the hands, I can feel the strength and the importance of this embodiment into the heart. This really wanted to come through. And yes, I have that session, but I feel like we're going to go deeper with this. I'm going to sit with it over this next few days and really see what wants to come through. Okay. We're going to go and see what else wants to come through here and now for those of you here on YouTube. If you want more around all the messages that came through with this, because it on the Patreon video, it really felt like this essence of the counterparts coming back into alignment in their true form, the beloved energies. If you want to partake in that, I'll drop that in the pinned comment for you too. But I want to go deeper around what support wants to come through for this thawing and opening of the heart space, the root chakra of the heart chakra, and that embodiment into that core of our being and the ability to be able to accept and receive all that is meant for us, the love, the partnership, the camaraderie, the reciprocity, the flourishing, the joy, the love, all of those things. Okay, the first card that came out was the Nine of Swords. And this to me feels representative of this bubble of energy, of grief, of sadness, of this weight that has sort of been on the collective or in the energies that we've been processing out of, but also this like light that's coming through, this higher self essence, this truth of who we actually are, breaking through the depression and the grief and the parts of us that felt in the sadness or out in the cold or not prioritized. And as we open up our heart to ourselves, for ourselves, and allow ourselves to receive the higher love and essence, it allows it to start to manifest in the physical. Now, I can feel within this bubble, there's something that wants to bridge. So roll with me because the other cards that came out after that was the Ten of Pentacles and the Temperance. And this felt like what the goal is, right? This is what we're aiming for, that physical world, family, material world, joy and happiness manifested in a very physically balanced and harmonious way. Now, what I'm sensing in the energies as I'm speaking this to you is that these seem far away, right? Like when you look at it, you're like, okay, this sadness and this grief, all this heaviness to all of this joy, but they came out next to each other. And what I'm sensing is that there's simply a membrane around this frequency to this frequency. And as we allow ourselves to thaw out those old defense mechanisms that protected us in this pocket, it feels that this new higher energy, this version that we've all been working on, is not as far away as we may have thought. And it feels like allowing ourselves to drop into the energy of dissolving those old frequencies and truly letting ourselves believe and receive the essences of what we have been asking for, what we've been aligning with, asking for our highest timeline, asking for our highest potential, asking for what is meant for us in those moments where it felt lonely, where it felt like nothing was happening because we're asking for this. My loves, this is where the realignment has been taking place. The reason it's been quiet, the reason that a lot hasn't happened is because you've been being in a cocoon preparing you for what is meant for you. Okay. And I do feel like there's some that are still going to be in that for a little bit, but trust the process because you can't take the butterfly out of the cocoon too early. It will not have the strength to survive. So, wherever you are in this process right now, enjoy it, Receive it. Allow yourself to embody into it and understand that it's supporting you in this evolution. And for those of you that are breaking out of the cocoon or already on your way out, this is this membrane of the space that's dissolving. These old defense protective mechanisms are what have to dissolve. So the self punishment, the blame, the shame, the guilt, the things that taught us the lessons that we needed to learn at the time, you've outgrown them. You're ready to let those dissolve so you can move into receiving what is actually meant for you, my loves. Okay. Let's pull a couple cards in this middle space where that membrane is that I'm talking about. Okay. Whoa, it flew out. The Two of Cups flew into my lap in reverse. I want to get more with this because I feel like it's the very thing that has been being grieved is the very thing that's coming forward. It's what's in the transformational process, the internal Two of Cups and the external Two of Cups. That internal self love is your dissolving any of the defense mechanisms from receiving your own love and your own prioritization. You are then dissolving the external blocks that were in the way of you receiving being a priority in what's meant for you in your life. Okay. But there's two more that want to come out with this. We're going to let those fall. Wow. Okay. So I said two more, but it's like the healing, the decision, the trusting the higher power, and allowing the higher power to embody is creating this sun energy. When it looks the most confusing, keep going. Keep trusting yourself. Keep embodying into that highest alignment. Keep inviting in your highest self because the celebration is on its way, loves. Wow. I can feel a lot processing with this. I would love to hear from you guys in the comments. Let me know how you're doing, how this is feeling. It's thawing. I can already feel like it's in process, but these messages are wanting to come through because it feels so relevant right now. So like we're in the middle of the thawing, going from the cold, feeling out in the cold and into the light. Okay. And I know that many of you have been in this middle ground. You've been feeling the extremes of this, sometimes feeling depressed and cold and out in the cold, and other times feeling the intense depths of warmth and reception and love, and then kind of going through the two. And this is where this energy has been being recalibrated so that you could move into the temperance. So when you can hold the light and the dark, and you can stay in that balance, even during those moments, right? That you can see the bigger picture and that you can understand that the highs and lows are part of what we're navigating on our planet. And you can take the time to restabilize within yourself to let the defense and the protective mechanisms dissolve while you prioritize yourself and your standards and your love deeper into your cells. It's what is allowing the bigger transformational processes to occur in your external world. Your internal is a reflection of the external. And this is why it's so important to drop back into your heart space and holding the love with and for yourself, even during those uncomfortable pockets. Dropping the love and the heart energy into the root chakra of the heart chakra. I do feel like something wants to come with that. Maybe I'll do a group around that. If you guys think that you would like something like that, let me know in the comments. Of course, if you want to connect with me one-on-one, you know you can do that. Those other videos and supports will be in the pinned comment. And wow. Okay. Very beautiful. I'm loving and appreciating this. And I hope that you enjoyed this and that you have a beautiful rest of your days, my love. All right. Take care. Bye.